But Georgia will start with the basketball here in the second half. Florida 14-1 this year when leading at the break. We'll see if that continues today, that trend, and if they can pull the upset off here at home.
And that one loss was in double overtime against Arkansas, so it was a very close one. They are good when they're up at the half.
Long-range shot to start the half. In and out for Meredith Mitchell. Here comes Florida. Juanita Bartley. Now for Jones, long three. She's feeling it early.
Well, that's exactly what we said to start the second half. Jordan Jones needs to get more of, and it's the long-range three. Now Jordan has to extend and contest her shot. Opens up the inside paint.
Jordan Jones, a 34% shooter from outside the arc. That's her 272nd career three.
And you'll see she doesn't mind setting up far away from the arc. She knows that she has that kind of range. She's really challenging the defenders to come out, contest, and guard her shot.
Shot clock already under 10 for Georgia. 4 on the shot clock. James in trouble. Mitchell, I don't know if she got it off in time. She did, but it doesn't go. Jones, can she do it again? Nice dribble by Miller to get it ahead.
Good decision to pull it up. Didn't have numbers. Want to get into the offensive set. That's a good way to keep away from those turnovers. And Georgia already having 8 in the first half.
Shot clock again, running down. They force the pass inside to Armstrong, no foul. And a double dribble. No, timeout called by Georgia. And we're going to step aside. Florida, good start to the second half, leading by 5. Florida has shaken off that disheartening loss to Vanderbilt the other night in overtime. There was a clock issue in that game at the end of regulation. Clock didn't run for 14 seconds when Florida had the lead. Vandy came down, hit the game-tying shot to send it into overtime, a shot that wouldn't have happened had the clock been running earlier. But they've come here to play against number 15, Georgia. They've got the lead by 5. And they've got the basketball here after Georgia comes up empty on that possession.
Well, Amanda Butler said after that Vandy win, she had to get her team to focus on what they could control in that game. And in that game, they could have controlled some of their missed free throws, some rebounds that they let get away from them. And that was the key in making it a little bit less of a heartbreaking loss than thinking it was something completely out of their hands that caused that loss.
Well, they've come to play here today, that's for sure. Stewart rolls to the hoop. Charging call on Stewart. Over her shoulder there, it appeared.
That was a good call that time by the official. Stewart probably should have just taken that 15-foot jumper that she had. She does have range, but Jasmine Hass was doing a good job stepping inside, being prepared to be in position and take that charge.
That's 2 fouls on the 6'4" center from England. Will probably be on the UK Olympic team this year.
Well, every single summer she goes back and spends time playing with the national team. That's how she's been able to improve in the summers, and that was a part of her agreeing to come to Florida, is that she'd be allowed to practice with the national team in summers. Shot
clock at 7. 3 is right between the eyes for Jasmine James, and she's got 9 to lead everybody.
Great play by Jasmine James. Has that point guard role, but you can't forget that she's a scoring point guard, so she's always looking for her shot.
Jennifer George, that's the hook shot you like so much. This time it doesn't go. Here comes Georgia in transition. James leading the way. Doesn't always go down for George, but it's still fun to watch.
Doesn't always, but I love it. There's no way you can guard it. You just got to hope it doesn't go in. That time Hassel's probably breathing a sigh of relief.
Good pass. And Armstrong able to finish.
Oh, I love the way Armstrong works away from the basket, and Erica Ford, that was a freshman, made that heady pass. I mean, that's great vision from the guard.
Armstrong, who had 19 against Florida last time these two teams met, has 4 now. Stewart, backdoor cut. Bartley goes to the hoop and fouled hard. And Bartley able to get up to her feet, but she went down to the deck hard.
Yeah, you see Georgia was trying to get out and help. Erica Ford gets beat as she's trying to go for the pass. Jasmine Hassel doesn't make it there just in time, but a great decision by Bartley to continue to attack Jasmine Hassel and get her in foul trouble.
That's 2 on Hassel. See the numbers over the last 5 games for Bartley, very good. She hits the free throw and Florida goes back in front.
Bartley has been 50% from 3, and coming into those 3 games wasn't even looked at as a 3-point threat. And that's what's been so impressive about the numbers that she's put out there for Florida.
Yeah, she's up to 38% on the year from 3. She hasn't taken a lot of them, albeit, but still shooting very well from outside the arc, and before this year hardly took any.
And you think about it, she won't be on the scouting report as a shooter.
That's right.
So she has more opportunities than, say, a Jordan Jones, who you know is coming in as a sharpshooter.
Good point. Florida by 2. They led by 2 at the half. Hassel, good pass, Armstrong, lobs it in.
Well, you see how Armstrong kept the ball high the entire time by not bringing it down. No guards can attack it. I mean, she just has great finesse around the rim.
That one's tied up. Florida will keep it on the possession arrow. There's Madu. Now tell me that that's not Michelle Obama.
Didi Madu she's the double.
I mean, it's uncanny. Under 16, Bartley to the outside. Bonds got it. She's got 5 now.
Great shot by Jatera Bonds, who's good at feeding those post players, but she looked up. The shot was completely uncontested. Florida's taking advantage of a sag right now in Georgia's defense.
And a foul from behind on Madu. Florida looking for the upset today.
Well, whenever you get a chance to protect your home floor, you got to go out and try to get that victory in the SEC.
A lot of game left in this one, but Florida right now on top by 3, 35-32. Georgia's got the ball. Florida in the pink uniforms today. Lobbed inside for Jasmine Hassel, and she's got a chance at a 3-point play. Excuse me, that third foul, I should say, on George. Pardon me.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest part of the play for Jasmine Hassel, just getting the third on Jennifer George, which means she's going to have to lay back a little bit more on defense, and she loves to be a shot blocker. So even more than Jasmine Hassel getting to step to the free throw line, it's getting Florida's leading scorer in foul trouble.
Jasmine Hassel, 20 double-figure games in 26 games this year. I mean, she's only got 4 points in this game, but she can get hot at any time. Someone to keep an eye on. That one was kicked.
Jasmine Hassel hasn't had a lot of touches in the paint for Georgia so far in this game, and that's really where her bread and butter is. She does rely on the guards to feed the ball inside of her so she can work off of her good post positioning.
Jatera Bonds. Armstrong, another rebound for Georgia. Jump shot, no good. Controlled by Spetty, and Florida brings it ahead quickly. Boy, they waste no time getting it into the front court. Tied up, jump ball, and the arrow belongs to Georgia.
Still here at Florida, not training with the team right now, with them being right around the corner in the summer, but she's getting some great learning tools right here playing in the SEC.
And Florida's going to have it. Break for the Gators in a tie game, and Andy Landers wants a timeout with 12:04 to go. Florida has been consistent this year. Even though, there have been some bumps in the road, they haven't gone on sustained losing streaks. They've never lost more than 2 in a row, but that's in jeopardy here today. I mean, they could lose their 3rd straight. They lost at South Carolina. We talked about loss at Vanderbilt in overtime. But they've come to play here today, and they're going toe-to-toe with the number 15 team in the land.
Hey, you look at Florida's record, and they really don't have a bad loss. Or maybe the one bad loss they have is specific, and that was very early in the non-conference slate. So for Florida, what they need now is some signature wins.
Yeah.
And I mean, this Georgia team, 15, 18 in the nation, you knock them out. I mean, that is huge if you're turning in your NCAA tournament resume into the committee and they see a victory like this at home.
No doubt about it. Valero Aragones better hurry. Gets it in for Stewart, tipped, and Stewart able to track it down. That 6'4" frame comes into play there. With that length, she's able to get it.
And a good opportunity here for Florida to really execute this offense. Got 19 seconds to get something going.
Bonds got it to George. Allen makes a move. Lost it on the baseline. Valero Aragones steps in. That mid-range jumper goes down.
A pure shooter is exactly what you get off the bench, an instant offense. Remember, Amanda Butler goes 10 deep and expects every single person who steps on the floor to create on offense.
Jasmine James, good pass. Hassel got it to go. It's a big basket for Georgia because, you know, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, you know, the longer that Florida stays in this thing, the more confidence they get. Exactly,
and that continues to build. The momentum might shift. You get the crowd in it, and it can easily be Florida's ball game. So they have to continue to step out the Florida runs.
Bonds. Missed the shot. Valero Aragones steps in again. Down and out. George, the putback, no. Got the rebound, and she's fouled. She'll get a trip to the line. Good effort by Jennifer George, the star for the Gators. She'll shoot free throws when we come back to Gainesville in a tie game. And she puts Florida back in front by a point. 7 for Jennifer George. She averages 13. Pressure continues. Baseball pass into the front court. James runs it down. Can't finish the shot. Stewart lobs it inside. George with the hook.
There goes that baby hook again. You can't do anything against it. You let her get positioning. She turns and uses the hook. She's protecting the ball with her body.
Armstrong had a seam to the basket. Doesn't go, and that's been Georgia's problem here today. They can't finish shots.
Yeah, well, luckily for Florida right now, Jennifer George is doing a good job finishing shots. You see she gets it deep in the paint and then just using the baby hook with the left hand and protecting the ball with her body, keeping it away from Anne-Marie Armstrong is how she's able to finish that basket.
Three-point lead for Florida, looking for more here. Quick pass inside to Stewart, tipped out of bounds by Armstrong, so the Gator will have it with 11 seconds on the shot clock and 10 minutes to go in the game. Stewart lost the pass, and James brings it back 2-on-1. James, the same shot she made earlier.
The second time we've seen her do that, completely blind, knocking down the basket. She's playing out of her mind right now.
James now with 13 to lead everybody, but a huge three for Valero Aragones.
Well, we knew coming into this game that bench play was going to be huge for Coach Butler. Didn't know where it was going to come from, but now it's the threes from Valero Aragones.
She would want us to say hola to her dad watching in Barcelona. He tunes in for every game.
Your daughter is playing amazingly right now. She's exactly what Florida needed coming off the bench, that offensive spark.
She's in double figures with 10. Out on the wing, Armstrong answers back. But that's a 2. She's got 10. Back to a 2-point game.
And back and forth, we see it going. You see Georgia really doesn't want to let Florida get away with a run because as soon as this crowd gets into it, the momentum is going to swell on Florida's side.
And off the foot of Ford. Here's that circus shot by James, part 2.
I think we're just going to call it the JJ because she's already put a stamp on it. This time, she also has Erica Ford running the lane with her, recognizes that she has Bartley beat, and goes up blind one-handed. You can't even call it a reverse. I'm seriously going to call it the JJ.
Looked like something you'd see from on an old ABA film or something. Georgia in transition here, down a bucket. Mitchell, yes. High arcing jumper hits the bottom.
The mid-range game, that's what you get from Meredith Mitchell. A couple dribbles, she loves the 18, 16-footer. She can also get out and get deflections. That's what makes her special as the long-arm guard on the wing.
Jordan Jones comes back in for the Gators. And Kalita Miller, who had 4 points in the first half, will come in, give James a rest. James has been outstanding, 13 points to lead all scorers in this game. One of 2 players in double figures for Georgia now. Armstrong has 10.
Well, don't forget, Jasmine James, Meredith Mitchell, and Marie Armstrong, and Kalita Miller played 40 minutes against South Carolina. So just watch towards the end how important it's going to be for them to continue to express their endurance the rest of the game.
Free ball for Jones, misses everything. She might be a little cold since she was just on the bench a moment ago. Good defense by Dina Allen. And that was tipped. The official says that was tipped, and it sure didn't look like it. Miller, shot no good. Rebound, Donald, the putback off the side of the backboard. And here comes Bartley for Florida. They've got numbers. Bartley on the wing, 3 on the way. Yeah! Second 3 for Jordan Jones. She's got 9 now.
And exactly how Florida draws up their transition. Jordan Jones doesn't break down the lane. She stops and knocks down the 3 from the wing. That's the shot that they want in transition.
Donald fouled. We have had 9 ties and 11 lead changes. Florida has the lead right now. An upset brewing here in Gainesville.
They've really been able to get on a run. They struggled in the first half to knock down shots, but I've been really impressed with how much they've executed the offense, especially in transition, to get some good uncontested looks.
One player not cool today for Florida is James. Hit both of those free throws. George, double team, but it didn't matter. Jennifer George has 11 points.
Part of the change from sophomore to junior year, she's got a lot of tools in her pocket that she can use on that post. And you see, Georgia is trying to double team her, but she does a good job not turning the ball over and scoring.
Inside to Armstrong. There's a little hook shot from Armstrong.
There you go. It goes back and forth. We've seen it from George, now Armstrong, and she's got the move too. Great finish by Anne-Marie.
She's got a dozen. Madu inside to George, tried to get it back out to Madu. Able to track it down. A lot of time on the shot clock, and they'll back it out. Bonds has her pocket picked. Here comes James.
Hey, the entire play started because Jasmine Hassel did a good job stepping up and trapping on the guard. That's how you get the turnover for Georgia.
Shot blocked inside by Armstrong, but Bartley able to run it down, and now lost out of bounds. And a foul on Mitchell. That's her 3rd. So now Mitchell has 3, and so does Hassel for Georgia. For Florida, George playing with 3 fouls and Bartley with 3. Still a lot of time to go.
Yeah, we might see a few players fouling out in this game as it gets more and more physical down the stretch. You see Georgia trying to use their defense to create offense here to get them over the hump and flurry of Florida baskets.
Timeout. Amanda Butler calls a timeout. She has 3 remaining.
Definitely a good decision there. It looked like Florida was about to throw the ball out of bounds onto the sidelines. You see she really wants to get strategic, get the team focused. What are we going to do on offense coming out of here? We have 25 seconds on the shot clock to work with and get a good look.
Jasmine James up over her average, has 15 points. She averages 11. She's been a reason that Georgia's been able to stay in this game when at times they did not shoot well, when at times Florida had all the momentum, but James has come to play today.
Okay, she's one of the lethal weapons, one of the 4 double-digit scorers for Georgia, and she's just really put it on her shoulders, staying aggressive and attacking the basket. If there's no defender with shoulders to shoulders facing her, she's still going to continue to attack, and I like what she's doing as a point guard. She also knows when to distribute, when to get it out to the wing, and when her shot is open, she needs to take it.
Long 3 for Jones, no. Stewart couldn't find the basketball, and Georgia has it. James off for Hassel. Hassel shot no good. And Jordan Jones quickly brings it ahead for Florida. Bartley got it. This crowd sensing an upset. Even though it's just a 1-point game, they know Georgia's off today.
Hey, you see how good Florida is at pushing the ball up. That was a defensive rebound that Jordan Jones took from inline to inline and getting the ball back out to Bartley for the finish. This team is good in transition when they make good decisions with the ball.
Armstrong, double team, back out to Ford. 3, misses everything. Backside, tracked down. Now foul away from the ball. No, it's going to be a shot clock violation because the ball missed. Didn't hear the horn, but it was a shot clock violation. The official recognized it. Frank Serratori made the call, and it's going to belong to Florida.
Yeah, it was a good call. You could see Meredith Mitchell trying to throw it back up towards the rim, knowing that the shot clock had expired. And that was before the foul would have been called for the defensive rebound.
Kalita Miller comes back in. Ford will sit down for the Lady Bulldogs.
Adding Miller back in for Georgia allows them to have that 3-point threat again back on the line.
And another timeout called? I believe so.
They might be talking over the shot clock violation there. The ref's trying to make sure they got the call right. You see in the replay, we're getting down to the end, but there's no light and there's no buzzer on the backboard.
They're going to have to show it again because the officials...
shot clock didn't go off down there. We had a shot clock violation.
Refs just came over and said they're trying to look at the shot clock because it didn't go off, trying to figure out why that happened, and the game clock.
So it is a shot clock violation. They're seeing the same look that you're seeing at home, and the officials are shaking their head, affirming the fact that it was a shot clock violation, and it does belong to Florida with 5:01 to go.
The little break gives Amanda Butler a chance to coach up her team that offense, though. They seem to respond pretty well when they get a play-in from Coach Butler, and the execution goes up a little bit.
George, no. Rebound by Jasmine Hassel.
Good defensive stance and defensive rebound by Jasmine Hassel. That time she has to stay out of foul trouble. That's 3 fouls on Hassel, so she really has to protect herself here late in the game.
James needs help. Gets it to Miller. They 10 to shoot. Wide open look for Mitchell. Off the heel. He's got it. And it belongs to Florida. Right in front of Andy Landers. He's chewing on the official's ear, but it's not going to do any good.
No, good call that time. And Coach Landers, as long as he's on the sideline, he's going to be trying to make the call for the refs, but it looks like that could have gone both ways. JJ puts it into Bond's hands.
Bonds for 3. No. And Georgia's going to have it. This is very familiar territory for Florida. 9 of their 13 SEC games decided by 6 points or less. And I have a feeling that's going to be the case here today as we're coming up on the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, they are always 2 or 3 possessions away from either winning or losing a game.
Yeah.
I mean, you really, poor Coach Butler. She's got to have high blood pressure at the end of this SEC season.
And Georgia turns it over. Yet another turnover. That's number 10 on Georgia. And Florida's going to have it when we come back, leading by 1.
Tie-breaking basket with 14 seconds left. She's got to be feeling good. I mean, that's an upset victory. The ACC is just as tight as the SEC race right now, so that's huge for the Terps.
Florida by 1. And they have the ball in the pink uniforms today. It's a play for K game for the Gators. Trying to upset number 15, Georgia. 10 to shoot, Bartley. Pushed out to the midcourt line, now makes a move, wing pass, shot from 3 is off for Valaro Aragones, out of bounds to Florida.
Good break for Florida. They got the shot they wanted in the first possession, now they get a second crack at it. A brand new shot clock, an opportunity to run it fresh out of the inbounds play.
Over 3,000 fans in attendance today, season high for attendance for Florida. I would love to see this team get a signature quality win. Anita Bartley. And now a foul. That's going to be on James. That's number 2 on Jasmine James.
You've really seen Georgia pick up their defensive pressure. They decided to extend past the 3-point line, try to contain the dribble and make all the dribble entries and passes to the wings that much more difficult here late in the second half.
Both teams with 5 team fouls. So not shooting situations yet. Bartley. Madu couldn't handle that pass that was down at her feet. It's a turnover for Florida. And an opportunity for Georgia to go back in front.
Yeah, you can see Coach Butler just hitting her head over on that one. That was an opportunity for Florida to really take advantage of momentum.
James, strong, put back, good. Hassel makes the shot. And the Lady Dogs back in front by 1. Lead changes in this game. George got it to go. Great move.
A little baby hook again with the left hand. Look, George can go both ways. We've seen her use the right and the left, but she likes going to the middle. Offensive answer here in the last 2:18.
Kalita Miller, down and out. Georgia foul. Here is that basket moments ago by Jennifer George. Great double move there.
Yeah, really, the undersized post, too. Only about 5'10". She's taken on 6'3" and 6'2" against Jasmine Hassel and Armstrong, and a great, solid move. You see she keeps her elbows high, protects the ball, and finishes strong in the middle.
Hassel just picked up her 4th, and that's the 6th team foul on Georgia, so Florida will be at the free throw line the rest of the way. That could come into play. This turns into a free throw shooting contest. Under 2 minutes to go. Madu, skip pass. Bartley on the baseline. Off her knee and out of bounds, and Georgia has it. Boy, turnovers really piling up now for the Gators. That's 15.
Really starting to mount. I think it really is coming for Florida when trying to create off the dribble and attacking the baseline when really there's nothing there. You want to get the ball back to the top of the key, see if you can run your screens and get your wing players open.
Armstrong looking for a guard, finds Miller. Another short jumper, doesn't go this time for Hassel. Empty possession for Georgia, Florida down 1. Under a minute and a half to go. And Florida's going to be patient.
Good decision again. Don't have numbers, set back up that offense. See if you can get another good look.
George got it, it's a 3-point game. 1 minute to go. What's the strategy now for both sides?
Georgia, you have to attack the basket. I don't think you're looking for a long-range three. Right now you're trying to get either Jasmine James or Kalita Miller open inside with that dribble penetration.
And Florida don't foul, right?
Absolutely.
10 on the shot clock. Taken away by George. Timeout. Amanda Butler calls a timeout as George pulled that ball right away from James.
Well, you can't draw up defensive plays, but that's exactly what you would want as a coach, is Jennifer George to step in and make the huge defensive stop. That's exactly what happened. An opportunity for Florida to set up their offense out of the timeout and really execute this play.
Jennifer George with 15 points. Her day started out rough because she picked up the 2 fouls early and spent a lot of the first half on the bench, but she has been an impact player.
Only 6 minutes in the first half, but she has taken every opportunity in the second. When she gets the ball deep in the post, she's doing a good job establishing position and finishing with finesse around the basket. She's really been the answer for Florida when they needed to go on a scoring run. And then you saw there in the last possession a great defensive stance. Probably the most important play she's made all night just happened in front of our face, and it was on defense by Jennifer George.
Florida took one right in the gut. That loss in overtime to Vanderbilt the other night, this would make up for it. An upset of number 15, Georgia, and they're 34.8 seconds away from that happening.
The signature win that we talked about coming into this game, that's what Florida needs to shore up the NCAA resume. That's what's on the line in the last 30 seconds.
About a 7-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Georgia not pressuring at all. They're going to dare Florida to make a shot. Allen with 7 on the shot clock. Knocked away from behind by Armstrong. And she double dribbled. Florida's got it with 10 seconds left, and Andy Landers calls a timeout.
You will see it is a good call by the official, and the double team did come. You see Anne-Marie Armstrong just picking the back pocket of Allen, and then just gets caught up in traffic trying to find a guard there and commits the double dribble. Well, now for Coach Landers, you have to foul.
Yep.
That's why you call the timeout. You got to stop the clock. You got to foul.
3-point game, 10 seconds left. Let's go to the studio and Dari Noka. All right, Dari, we'll see you and Jimmy in just a bit. 10.2 to go. There you see the situation. Florida has a couple of timeouts left. Georgia has 1 remaining, but Florida here, if they can stick a shot, can put this game away.
You got to foul as soon as the ball is inbounded for Georgia, or get a 5-second call. There's no more.
George trying to get it in. And another timeout by Butler with 1 timeout remaining now for Florida.
Just concerned about getting that 5-second call, wanted to get her team back over. You see here, we get to talk about the tournament resume, how important this quality win could be for Florida. You add it on to their one against Florida State, and then maybe they can get 1 more in their last 2 games of SEC play.
The strategy right now is just get it inbounds.
Get the ball inbounds to hopefully your best free throw shooter, but Florida does struggle from the free throw line, so that could come down and be huge for the Gators.
Yeah, they're 9th in the SEC in free throw shooting at 63%. This time Jones is going to be slated to throw it in. Miller will contest for Georgia. They get it in. Brantley will play keep away and foul by James. And so Bartley goes to the free throw line. She is 70% there.
One of the better free throw shooters for Florida stepping to the line.
And if she can make first free throw here, it makes it a 2-possession game.
Yeah, and this is your senior. That's who you want to be at the free throw line right now on senior night, knowing what is on the line. Georgia has to get after this rebound.
She's made 17 of her last 18 at the line. Got it. And Florida is poised for a huge upset and a big signature win that they so desperately need.
They just hung around the entire game, stuck in there. We said it, if Florida can do that, they can upset Georgia at home.
And this crowd knows it's going to happen. 7 seconds to go. 3 on the way. Oh my, good for Mitchell. Hold on to everything. Landers calls a timeout. And they are out of them with 3.3 seconds to go.
Well, you see Meredith Mitchell, she's a senior as well, so she has the urgency to win. And the goal here is just get a 3 as soon as possible. That's exactly what happens. An uncontested shot. She's able to knock it down. Now Georgia's going to have to foul one more time out of bounds, see if they can get Florida to the free throw line and make them miss.
That was just the second made 3 for Georgia today. A team that is a 31% three-point shooting team. They're certainly not awful from outside the arc, but today not very good. That's only the second made 3, and it comes at a great time because they absolutely had to have it.
Yeah, and Meredith Mitchell, really more of a mid-range guard anyway, doesn't like to take a lot of threes, but in the situation, had the ball, knew that she had to go up and take that shot, was able to knock it down in the clutch.
Another situation for Florida where the inbound is key.
But with one more timeout, they're not able to run it properly. Amanda Butler can call a timeout and get the troops back together before they get the 5-second call.
Stewart. Almost stolen away by Armstrong and a foul, and Bartley goes back to the line with 1.4 to go. That was very close to being a steal.
Anne-Marie Armstrong almost had it there on the sidelines with those long arms. So close, barely just got back into Bartley's hands.
It's a 1-and-1 situation for Bartley. She can make both. Again, it's a 2-possession game. Halfway home. She could ice it here.
I believe she will. Again, senior night's kind of flowing in her way, and only 1.4 seconds for Georgia.
Got it! And Florida is going to upset number 15, Georgia.